Hello everyone, I just wanted to do a little update from the last video. I did a little testing afterwards and realised that I didn't save the texture at the end of the video, which I suggest you do, and if you haven't done it, I would suggest going back to the previous video if you've been saving your work incrementally like I have. Then go back so that you get to roughly this stage, and instead of baking the textures at 2048, do a 4096 bake, and your textures will be a hell of a lot better. I've found out. So I shall do that now on this one. I shall just go into the baking area and do these bakes and put the textures on as well. So I'm going to get rid of that one and open up a new one, and this time I'm just going to do a 4096. Right, 4096. Do it as UV grid, click OK, and there's our 4096. Just select our wall over here. Go down, make sure we go select our bake area, go to textures and hit bake. And now I just realised that the margin's too much anyway, so I will have to go back and do that. As you can see, I'm still learning this baking system, but I will show you at the end of this video. Let's just check this. Yeah, it's just too much bleed on that. I've not left enough for it. If I take the stretch off, you can see it blurs a little bit at the edges. It may be alright, but on some of the other parts it'll bleed in, so let's turn that down. Leave it at 5. 5 should be good, I think. Let's bake that again. As you can see, it may take a little while to bake it, but there we go. Untick clear. Untick that. Let's just check the edges. Oh, looks good. Looks good. Okay, so that's that bit done. Let's go and do our window frame. And the window, I've realised I don't think we'll need the texture for that. I'm going to use Unity to create a glass, just a plain glass material. Because I had a little play last night and just thought which is the best way to do the glass in there. So we will do a separate material for that, just to represent the glass. You can do a texture for it and try and figure it out, but Unity's glass, using the transparent shader, is a little strange in Unity, I find. So I would suggest we'll use a separate material for that. Okay, so let's go into object mode and let's add our material. So we're going to make a new material, unfortunately, and we'll put it as painted wood, and we shall open our texture up and we'll do this as a new set. So if you've done the last video, please excuse my mistakes and follow on from here, and we should get a little better. Let's see, let's do this. So where's my painted woods? These are some of the textures I did yesterday. Specular, which it didn't work as what I wanted to. It did in some respects, but the door was totally bad. So we will bake an ambient occlusion, a normal there, and we will do the diffuse texture. So let's get our painted wood here a minute. Click OK, and as you can see, and I don't think this, I think we had it at something like 6, which looked okay, but when it was in Unity last night, it looked awful. It really did. So I'm going to crank that up to 10. maybe even a bit more than that. It's tileable, so let's do 15. That looks a bit better. Okay, let's stick a normal on that. Get a 0.2. I don't know, 0.1. Yeah, okay. Specular intensity and hardness. Let's have a look. Move this over a little bit before we bake it, because I don't want this to be too shiny, this wood, because it will be old, so I'll just turn that intensity down. No, leave the colour. Is it the hardness? Oh, leave the hardness up. Let's try that. Oh, let's try and multiply. Is that any better? No, because we were multiplying the texture as well, so we'll just leave that as mix. Let me grab this line, bring it over a little bit more. I don't even know if we need as much specular as that. 0.1. 0.05. Let's try 0 and then turn them off as well. Go back to the material, turn this specular down. And as you can see, that just changes totally there without having any specular on. So let's just adjust that as we need. That looks okay. Okay, I think we'll go with that this time. Select our door frame and let's apply that painted wood material to that as well, as you can see. Yeah, that looks okay. Let's select our door, new door wood. This time we'll add our new texture, open it, modular textures, and we used this wood, didn't we? So we'll select that wood, open it up, and I did crank this up a little bit as well. I think it was to 10. Ooh, that does not look good. That's 10 as 10 for me. Bring the Y down. There we go. I don't know. 6 by 3. Okay, by 1. Yeah, I think it's better just streaking it that way. Hopefully it'll bring up the normals okay. So specular intensity and hardness. Give the normal 0.05. Because I'm not expecting the door to be really, yeah. Yeah, okay, I don't mind that, that's fine. Okay, right, so we will select our piece. First we'll do the window bit. Let's go back to our render tab and bake our texture. Select the door frame, bake our texture. Select the door and bake our texture. Okay, now what I didn't do last time, now we have our textures baked. We shall go to image, save as image, and I shall copy over the ones that I did yesterday. So we have, says this wall 01 texture diffuse. so you can copy that there. So wall 01 texture map diffuse as a PNG. You can save it as a JPEG if you want, or Targa, or even a TIFF. It's totally your choice. I'm just going to leave it as PNG for now. I'm going to save that file out. There we go. So bring the window up. Let's make sure that is saved into our 3D drive, Blender files, tutorials, and there it is. And if I bring that up, you can see it's a really nice texture at the moment. So that should look good in game. Okay. I'll just move that over to the other window for a moment. Okay, now we have them done. Time to do our normals. Now we don't need to change this texture. You can just leave that there. Switch it to normals. Click the clear button. Well, we've got our door, we might as well do our door first. So you just click bake. And there goes, there is our normal information of the door. Okay, that's our first bit. Untick clear, select the door frame, just there, click bake, and as you can see there's our door frame information. Let's carry on. Window frame, bake, the window, select our wall. Now it just shouldn't matter which wall we select, they should all work just the same. So I'll select that wall and I should bake that information, and as you can see it's coming through nice and clear. There we go, and that looks really nice. Yeah, looks really nice at that distance, because obviously you're not going to be really close to the wall, you're going to be running past them, you're not going to be staring at them. Plus we're going to be putting, say, picture frames or if some strange pictures and stuff on them as we go. So yeah, that's our normal. So now image, save as image, and this time I shall copy over that normal again, wall 01 texture map norm PNG, and save that image. Okay, now the last one, I was a little unsure with ambient occlusion just for the door. I was thinking of maybe opening the door first before baking this. So I'm going to rotate it on the Z and just open it like so, about 45 degrees. Because I noticed when I baked it that the inside frame here just had a black mark. Now in fact we could just hide the door for the time being, couldn't we? So if I do Alt R, clear the rotation, with the door selected press H, select the window frame, change it here to ambient occlusion, click clear and click bake, and no, we still have that dark black line, which I'm a little disappointed with, but never mind. So let's do, is it Alt H to bring it back, and let's move the door. So let's move it across. Oh, I hid the light as well, maybe that was the problem. Put that on global. Oh, let's select H, select the door frame again, bake. No, it's still the same, so Alt H, let's hold in control, move the door, and let's move the frame as well, Control Z that. Now move the door. Control Z. That, just move it, and then we'll Control Z in a minute. Right, let's bake that. And I've baked the door. What a great way to start. That's brought up a strange thing. Let's bake the frame. That's better. That is a lot better. It's a lot, you know, not as bad there, that now. So, if I do Control Z, door comes back, select the door, untick the clear, and let's bake the door. And we are getting black around the edges, and that's because the door's in its frame. So that won't work either. So let's move our door there. Let's bring our light directly there. Leave that okay, and let's just bake it again. Ah! That did not work. That did not work. Why did that not work? Baking the ambient occlusions, click clear. Oh, now it's baking. I'm getting that strange patterning. Maybe we can fix this in Photoshop afterwards. As you can see, yeah, I'm still getting some strange patterning. I wonder if it's all these lights in a strange place. Let's do a bake again. And this time it messed up again because I've selected the wrong item. You've got to make sure you have the right item selected for some reason, otherwise it will absolutely just mess up. Yeah, it's oh, that's better. That's better. Now we can see our bake information a bit better there. That's better. I like that. So maybe you've got to have a light front and back by the look of it. It's all new to me, so I'm going to move these lights and rebake this again so that it's nice. They are both the same height. Select that one, bring it down. Select that one, bring it down. Select the door. Select bake. Yeah, it's cleaning it up a little bit. Still getting a bit of strangeness. Let's select the frame and the wall, and let's move them out of the way. Select the door, and let's bake it and see what we get. Ah, that's better. So they do have a really bit of an effect on them there. Now, we are learning as we go. That is better. That is a lot better. A lot better than I expected. So these lights are making a real big difference to this. Let's bring everything back in. Let's just press M. Move the door to another layer a minute. Select the door frame. Let's hit bake and see how we get. Oh yes, 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 yes. Man, that's a lot better. Alright, let's select the wall. Bake the ambient occlusion of the wall. Now, looking like that, we're going to need some of these lamps. So I'm going to move these lamps over. I'm going to stick one there. And then this lamp head at the back here. I'm going to stick there. Okay, okay. Let's just try this again. Without the clear. Ticked. Click bake. Are we getting anything different? No patterning, no. It is baking. But yeah, no. Well, there we are. That's our bake for that by the look of it. Zoom out a little bit. Try baking one more time. Oh, wrong thing selected. And again, it's oh, there it is, there it is. Oh, let's just check it's 4096. Can we check that from here? Oh, this is only 2048. Okay, so it's only done it on our 2048 map. Okay, that's okay. We'll see how it looks anyway, because it'd be better for people if it is 2048. Right, okay, bake. It's still going to be the same. Yeah, we're not getting that normal information that I was hoping to get. You know. Let me have a look at my ambient occlusion from yesterday. Yeah, it was the same yesterday. Except my door was a lot worse and the window frames were, other frames were a lot worse. Right, let's do the window frames. Let's bake that and see what we get. And that will be fine, I think. I don't think it's going to make a difference if I bring that one over, is it? Put it there. Select the frame again. Hit bake. And no, it's not made no difference. Okay, we'll go with that. Save as image. And I shall go. That's the specular. There's the AO one. As you can see on this one, that door was a lot darker. And it had a lot dark on the edges, and I did notice that when I'd taken it into the game engine. So we'll save that as wall 01 texture map AO, and there we go. Now the specular one was it was a little strange to me. It did work as such, but well, let's give it another bash. And this time I'll say specular colours, select the wall, and let's just bake, and it should just clear it. And the wood goes brown for some reason, so I don't know why that is, but the wall specular is really nice. Even the doors come out. Oh, I've not done the door yet, but there you go. The wall come out really nice. Okay, so let's do. Looks good. It's actually brought colour out, colour information. We will fix this. We will go into Photoshop and fix it. Select door frame. Bake. Let's try specular intensity on that. No. Let's leave it to colours. Bake that. The door I might leave just as that, actually, as the AO, and we'll fix that in Photoshop in a second. So let's save this out. Save as specular, so wall 01 texture map specular, and save that out. Okay, let's open up Photoshop and bring one or two of these in. Let's take a drink of my cup of tea. Okay, let's bring this specular one. So I'm going to drag specular. I'm going to bring that into Photoshop. And there's our specular map. I'm going to just first of all desaturate this. I'm going to go to image adjustments, desaturate it, so now the wood's gone to a nice dark colour, so it's not going to be shiny, but this is going to be really shiny, and that is, I'm not a big fan of that there. So let's work on that bit. So let's take that selection, select that area, just I can get that. That'll do there. Let's make a new layer. Let's do Control C, Control C, Control V, and that's moved slightly. It's very odd, isn't it? There we go. That's in exactly the right position. As I'm turning it on and off, can't see any differences. So there's that one. So we'll take that one. We will add levels, and we will darken that off and just give it some little bit of specular. Okay. And that levels is affecting that. Now how did I do that? How do I do that? There's a way of doing this. Right click, oh that's it, yeah. You create a clipping mask. Is it? Let's release that clipping mask. No. No. Oh. I can't remember how to do this. Aha, that works a bit different, didn't it? Right, I'm just going to bin that levels layer. I'm going to release that clipping mask. I'm just going to, let's see, get my paintbrush and select black. I'm going to change my opacity down to something there. Okay, now let's select everything there, select the inverse, select our paintbrush, and then just run over it like so. Run over it once, run over it twice, and we don't want them. That's fine. That looks better for them. Now let's just do our, you know what, we don't need that layer, do we? We can just delete that. Oh, I would need the layer to select the area. Oh no, I could just be dead careful. I may as well leave that one in now. Select that. Control D. Let's see. Move that off. If I can select this nicely. Will it select all of it? No. Right, select that instead. Select inverse. Get my paintbrush. Go over it once. Go over it twice. Okay. Right, Control D, Control 0. Now I like that better, that's nicer. It's not going to be quite as in your face, but these are going to be really popping and shining. Don't know, maybe I could dull them down a bit because they were a bit shiny yesterday. But for now, we'll leave that as it is. Right, okay, so that's PNG, so file, save as a PNG. There it is. So specular PNG, save, yes, fine. Okay. So our file sizes, let's have a look. So that specular one is 3.3 megabytes, 7 megabytes, 7 megabytes, and 2 megabytes. So not the smallest of file sizes, but they are going to be used. You can use them for quite large areas, so it will be quite okay. Okay, so let's close that. We don't need that open anymore. No, we don't need to save it. Close Photoshop, and let's just checking my folder files here a minute. Let's just set up a quick scene in Unity, I think. Let's open Unity and have a look. See how it's going to look. Of course, we'll have to export a couple of these pieces, I think. Let's do a new project, and we shall call this Modular Testing. I think that'll do. Let's select our file where it's going. My 3D drive, Unity files. I shall put it in testing scene. Just create a new folder. Call this modular tutorial, and you can name this whatever you like. I've got another testing scene I've been working on. So modular tutorial. So we'll select that folder, select, and there it is. So we will create our package. We don't need to import anything else as of yet. So just wait while Unity opens. And there it is with the default scene. Now let me just bring this over here a minute. So we've got our scene here, plain blank scene with a sun, camera. Okay, so let's add a floor. Let's go game objects, 3D cube. There's our cube, and it never seems to center it, so we will just go over to our transform panel and put 0, 0, 0, and then we shall scale it on the Y to 0.1. That's 10 centimeters in it, so 0.1 centimeter. So there's our centimeter cube. There it is. Okay. Now we have 3 meter wall panels. So, considering they are 3 meters, scale 15 is 5, isn't it? So let's do 15 by 15, and that'll give us 5 panels width around the outside. Okay, looks good. Now, one thing I did want to mention is some of the textures we will be using will be substance painter textures, or materials, should I say. Now, let me just bring up the internet a minute here, and let's go to substance share. Okay, so here we are in substance share. Now I'm not logged in at the moment, but it won't matter for what I'm going to show you. Now if you go to materials, you have all these materials, okay, and you can get wood materials, lots of stuff for free, absolute lots, meshes even, images, filter effects, brushes, all this stuff for free. It's an absolute brilliant site. Now we're probably using this wood planks at some point, or maybe, I don't know, some rock material, definitely some rock material, but I've downloaded some of these already and they are absolutely fantastic. And one good thing about them is I just find my folder here. There it is. I've got a folder of substance files, and I've downloaded all these materials. Absolutely brilliant materials. I've got a few smart materials. They don't work the same in Unity, but these ones are brilliant. So if I get something, say, let's have a look, something a bit nice. These church tiles. Maybe not. Sculpted pattern. Can't remember what that one is. Terra. I don't know. Let's try the Terra. Shall we? Or even something a bit different. I don't think that would be a good Terra. This is just something to. Oh, we'll have to try something on the floor. I need a floor. Demolished urban ground. Cracked ground tiles. Yeah, we'll try that. So we'll select them. After you've unpacked them from here, you will have these. And then if you just drag them, in fact, let's make a folder first in our assets. Create folder, and we'll call this materials. Create another folder, and we will call it models. And we shall create another folder, and we will call this textures for now. Okay, that looks good. Right, so in our materials folder, go back to our urban demolished, select both of them, drag them into your materials folder, and here we have our substance. Okay, right, I didn't need that one, so I can remove that actually. Can't remember which one it is. The SBS, it's the SBRS, I think, RAS or something. File. We'll click this. Yeah, so it's the small one of the two, believe it or not. You'd think it'd be the big one, but it's actually the SBSAR file, which is the archive file. So, and as you can see, you have this material here with all the procedural settings. So if now I grab this onto here, and you can see already we have our material. And these materials will become very handy. And all we have to do to tile them is say 10 by 10, and you can see that material is tiled. Now let's get rid of this sunlight a minute, and let's game object, and let's put in just a point lamp. And let's bring it over so we can see our material a little bit better. And as you can see, it's starting to look like a floor. And also on this material, if I scroll down, I can change the colours. You can have water level. You can actually change the level of the water, and then you can turn the water off if you don't want water, or you can have it fully on. And as you can see, selecting the light, as I move it over, we will get a different effect. And you can see the water shining. Excuse me. But yeah, you can change the shape of your tiles, whether to use tiles, cracks only, so you can change it and actually get rid of the tiles. You can have the ground only. So if we turn our water level down, you can see we have that ground. Just put a little bit of water back in, and as you can see, you can modify this quite a bit, so you can change the shape of our tiles as well. interlocking. You know, you can do quite a few things with just one texture. Change the colour. Didn't like that, that was awful. But you get the idea, you can do quite a lot of things with these textures. Yeah, that looks mad, doesn't it? But let's reset that. I think you can just click reset and there we go. It'll put it back to normal. So we will be using these, so I would suggest definitely go and get yourself, it's a free account, you don't have to have Substance Painter, you don't have to have any of their programs or anything, whether it be Substance Painter, Substance Design or Bitmap to Material or anything like that. You can just go and create an account, download those files, have a look through, see which ones you like, and as you can see you can just put them straight onto these primitive objects. They will work for your objects as well. I'm not sure exactly how they'd work until we try them out because I haven't tested that yet. I'm learning as you are. So let's leave this material on and scale it up a bit. Let's give it, instead of 10 by 10 we'll do 7 by 7. That looks okay. Yeah, let's get rid of the water. We don't want water in our place yet. You can change the amount of cracks. No cracks. Or full. I'm going to have full cracks. I like the use of that. Cracks only. No, not on this one. Tiles. But the good thing about this, with this one material set here, you can create an instance of it. So if you wanted to, you could do that. You can create a duplicate material. I've not checked it out. I will be checking it out though. Oh, there it is. Yeah, not this one. If you select the top, the folder it is, and you go to this here, if you click add a substance, and then you have another one with its original settings. So yeah, you know, you can, and there's that one. So you will have them like that, and these will only be created at time of run, apparently. So there, that is, it's a very handy material to have, and hopefully in the future I will be doing some Substance Designer tutorials on how to create these kind of effects, although there are a lot of tutorials out there. Anyway, let's leave that open for now and go back to our Blender file, and let's start taking some of these models. Now our door is still on that one, so we'll switch it back to our first layer, and what I am going to do is I'm going to select the door, select the frame, and then select the wall, press Ctrl P and parent that to that object. Now with all three selected, let's export this. So export FBX selected objects, and we shall call this, let's have a look, wall 01 doorway. Yeah, look good. So let's select our folder. Now we are going to put this in our Unity folder. Just go to Unity and testing scene, our modular tutorial, modular testing, assets, models, and export FBX. Bring up Unity, and hopefully there is our doorway, and there we have it in Unity. We want to generate light map UVs, definitely, so we will apply that. As you can see, it has brought its own material in, like this, but that is material for each thing which we will not need. So we should go back to our models folder, select that material, and then we are going to delete that because we're not going to need it. And as you can see, everything's gone pink. That's fine. Drag that into our scene. Right, where is it? There it is. And as you can see, it's all nice and pink. Doesn't look very interesting yet. And is that in the centre? It looks centered. Yeah. Although I am sure that it makes a difference if you have it actually in the centre. But let's carry on and see what happens. It looks, that's centered, that's centered. Let's put this at 0, 0 and 0 and see where it goes. Yeah, so it is centered in our scene, which is what we want, so that's good. Let's move our light up there. Bring that in a little bit for now. Let's turn the 3D gizmos off so that they're not in the way as much. Okay, so our door frame, doorway. You can see we have our three parts. We have our door, the frame, and then the main bit, which is the wall. Door frame, and then wall. So let's create a material for this. So we'll go into our materials folder. We shall go right click, create, and we shall create material, and we shall call this wall 01, and we shall call this wall 01 text 01. So this is texture 01, or material 1 we can call it actually. We can call it mat 1. Wall 01, material 1. So then when in Blender, when we create another material using these pieces, then you can create a new material called wall 01 material 2. Okay, so let's just bring it onto our door frame, bring it onto our door, and bring it onto our doorway. And there, it's now grey, and they are all sharing this one material, which will share these textures. So, let me find the textures again that we're using, which will be in my Blender files, tutorials, modular textures, and here are our 4 textures. So we have a specular, a normal, a diffuse, and an AO. So I'm going to control click each one of them and then drag them. You can do it straight onto the textures folder or into there like that, and that will import them. There we go. Okay, now as we are using a specular workflow and the material is set to a metallic, we are going to change it to a specular setup. Okay, and then we want to select our textures. First one we have is our AO, which goes into the occlusion. There we go. Next one is our diffuse, which goes into our albedo. Our normal, which will go in there. We'll fix it. Take a second to fix it. And there we go. And then our last one is our specular. And as you can see, this is what happened to me yesterday. That specular is absolutely ridiculously shiny. I'll just bring this light in and show you. Let's just let's line it up, might help. Okay. change the intensity a bit. Change the range. There we go. So as you can see, our specular is quite much. It is a bit more than I had hoped it would be again on the second time around. But let's have a look at the smoothness. Better. Oh, there you go. I don't think that's going to make much difference. We'll leave it on specular alpha. Turn it down like that. Select our light. Change it back to 1. Let's bring the. Ooh, come on. Sometimes it's a bit fiddly to grab these things. There we go. Bring the range up. There we go. As you can see, it's there. I mean, I still think we should bring this specular map down a little bit. Okay, we'll do that now. I'm going to open up Photoshop and just dull that right down because it is just too much. In fact, I do want to try something. Instead of it being specular, if we invert it, it might be a metallic, and that will be a little different. Right, let's bring in that specular map. Let me try this image. Let's invert. Okay. Let me just try saving this as save as rough. Yes. Let's save that there. Click OK. Minimize Photoshop a minute. There's our roughness. Let's bring that into our textures folder. Okay, select our material. Change it back to standard. Go into our textures, and this time I'm going to use my roughness one. And that works. Look at that. That's not too bad, is it? That is not too bad at all. And this texture's at 2048, so you know, for once you add your camera effects and that, it will improve it. Sure, that could have been done a little bit better, that would, but apart from that, things aren't looking too bad. The wood down at the bottom isn't looking too unpleasant. And that wall texture is really bright, isn't it? That yellow we used is really a popping on, and that I like that. I think we'll do that from now on. We will change the specular to roughness, and yeah. And you can shine it up. Look at that. That just looks really like plastic, doesn't it? Let's try our real alpha. No. We could turn our normal map down a little bit, I suppose. We don't want it to be so much. Yeah, occlusion down as well, if you wanted. I don't like that occlusion though, but that smoothness is really, I mean, yeah. I think just a little bit on that would be nice. So a quick play. I do like a little gloss on it though, I suppose. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I don't mind that. Okay, so there's our first piece. And as you can see, if we go into our rotate, full control. We have full control and the door is in place because we parented it to that when we brought it in. So there we go. So there's our first piece as such. So with the material added, let's create a new folder. Let's call this prefabs. We should drag our door into the prefabs folder, and that will give us our first prefabricated piece. Okay, that way we can delete that out there now. Next thing, go back into Blender and let's get our next piece. Which piece do we want here? We've got a door, so let's take this wall piece here. Let us move all these pieces backwards a little bit, so G, Y. It's going to move them all weirdly in it. Let me move these lights on their own. They're not needed at the moment. I can't select that camera. Let's turn the lights unselectable as well. Cube, what's the cube? I've named something cube. Oh. I know what cube is. Cube, I found out, I think, is the window. Or is it? Where is it? Yeah, it's the window. It's the actual window of the cube. So I'm just going to recall that window. Or window glass. In fact, it is wall 01. No. Window glass. So, next thing we're going to do, we are, now I can't see anything, we may as well select everything there, press control, move it back a few panel pieces, and then we are going to select that piece, grab it along the Y, holding control into the middle of the scene. Now, as far as I know, it's important you put them in the middle when exporting, otherwise the pivot point generated in Unity doesn't seem to work in the center. So we have our piece selected, we shall export our FBX, and this time we shall call this plain wall, or wall 01 plain will do. We'll export that, come up Unity, and here is our wall, and again it's created two materials which we won't need. So we'll go back to our models, we shall delete that. We have our pink one, so let's bring it into the scene. 0, 0, 0. Take our material, and this should now, I just bring it onto there, and there, it is applied. Okay. Let's delete that and put another directional light in. It will look different actually if I go to lighting. Let's take off this skybox because we're not going to need the skybox. Ambient clock is going to be black because it's going to be indoors, maybe probably at night when you do this. So let's now create a point lamp. Let's move that point lamp, and this should start looking a bit different. Let's move that radius in. I mean, it's not going to be, say we give it a 4 meter radius. I don't know, 3 intensity. And as you can see, it's already starting to look really spooky. If this was a tiling floor that was a little bit bigger, I think. So let's do 5, 5. Okay. So there's that one piece. Now we could do with putting that. Now we have it done into our prefabs. So click, drag it into our prefabs, select that, and press delete. Okay, now let's move it over. Let's change this back to solid view. Material, is it? No, solid, just solid. It's got that specular texture on there. We're not worried about which texture's on at the moment because we're just exporting the models. So let's bring this one back. Let's bring our window one, which I don't know whether to use that for that actually. Although I want to show you how to do that material, so for the glass, so let's bring it in anyway. Bring it to the centre. Without everything else. So let's do C. You're going to select everything this time. Bring it to the centre. Let's turn off that texture. There we go. That's better. Move this out of the way as well. It's getting in the way a little bit. Okay, so there's our glass, our window, and also our thing. So what we're going to do as we did before, select our glass, okay, select our frame, select our wall, press Ctrl P, parent them to object. Now with them all selected, let's export FBX, and this will be window. Let's put window. Okay, so we'll export that into our Unity folder. Go into models, and as you can see again, brought a material in for our window. There's our window piece, as we see. Okay, right, so we will get rid of that material. Select folder, press delete, delete it, drag our window into the scene, and there's our piece, our thing. So we'll get our material again and select that folder, and it's put it onto everything but the window frame. So we'll just drag it onto our frame and drag it onto our glass. No, we're not going to drag it onto the glass because I want to use Unity's shader for that, don't I? So in our materials folder, I'm going to create a basic glass material. So I'm going to go to material. I'm just going to call this blue glass. Okay, so we're going to put that onto our window glass, and as you can see, there's the material. Okay, now what we need to do, I don't know if there is a special one for this. Maybe shaders. No, I don't think it matters. Reflective. No, we can just use this standard one. So let's make it a little blue. You can see there's blue. Now, an easy way just to make this glass, I have found, is simply just to drop the alpha, and it should and no, it's not. Oh, brilliant. It worked yesterday. Oh, right, I've not set it to transparent mode, that's why. Set it to transparent mode. You pudding. And then you can use the alpha. That's it. So even as that there, if I was to bring this, make sure we've got shadows on this. I've got no shadows at the moment. Let's just use hard shadows. Now, as you can see, we're not getting anything in front of the window yet. So let's select that glass, select that material, and as you can see there's no alpha on it. So let me just get it in a position where you can see it, and let's test this out. So let's start bringing the alpha in, and as you can see, give it a little bit of colour. We want some colour, don't we? As you can see, we are getting the light shining through our windows, and we've got a little bit of blue. I don't know if that's the bias or whether. I think once it'd bake, it'd be a bit different. But we'll work on that. Let me check the light a minute. Bias is it 0.05, which is usually pretty good. Normal bias is somewhat different, and that just moves that. Right, so 0.05. There it is. I'm going to leave that set as it is. I think when it bakes it changes it anyway, it will sort it out, but it's just, there's all the lights there. Okay, so as you can see, you can also use whatever textures you want when you make your materials in Blender, but as you can see, we're starting to get some pieces now. So let's get one more, just for sake. Let's get this corner piece, so we can build a bit of a corner. So that's corner 01. So where it's selected, let's first move all this back into this position. Select that, holding control and bringing it to the center. There we go. Where it's selected, file, export FBX, and then we'll call this corner 01. Corner. Just put 01. Wall 01, corner 01. 01. Okay, so let's export that out. Go back into Unity. We haven't maneuvered this into our prefabs folder yet, so again, drag that into the prefabs folder. There. And again, we have our material again for our corner piece, which we don't need, so select folder, press delete. There's our corner. Let's move it in. Let's delete the window piece, select our corner, go to our material, and drag it onto the corner. And there we have, again, a piece that's using that texture we have made. So, and if you use the slider, holding control, it's set to 50 centimeter movements. So if we drag that over to the end, to right over there, and then back. Okay. So let's build a quick room. Let's delete that light and put a sunlight in. Directional light, there we go. Let's rotate it slightly so we can see what we're doing. Just for now, there we go. Let's also turn up the ambient lighting a little bit, just so until we get what we've got built. Okay. Right then. That wants to be the centre for me. I hate it. right out of the way so we can't see what we're doing. Let's maneuver it up. There we go. Right, let's start taking a few of our pieces after we've put this in our prefabs folder, because now it'll be containing that material as a prefab. So let's delete that. Now we don't need to worry about our models so much more as our prefabs. So let's create an empty object and let's call this walls, shall we? Walls 0, 1. So everything that we're going to use in here will go into that. So let's start with our corner. And as you can see, it's way over there because I need to delete that a minute because this is way over there. So let's put it at 0, 0, 0. And then let's put our wall in, our corner piece. Put the corner piece in like that. And there it goes. Strange how it went straight to that corner. I must have set that prefab up perfectly as there. But as you can see, our manipulator here is in the centre. Well, now we can move this wherever you want. But let's just leave it there at the corner. Let's press Shift D to duplicate that, bring it over. It didn't shift, Control D, sorry, to duplicate it, bring it over, set it there, press E for the rotate tool, holding Control, and rotate that round. Now Shift select both of them, press Control D, press W, bring them around until we get to there, E, rotate, select that one, and then rotate it back round. Okay. Now we need our window piece, I think. So let's just rename this actually. There's corners. Let's put in a new empty. I'm sure it's at 0, 0, 0. We'll call this empty walls 0, 1 windows. And we'll grab our window one and stick it in there. Okay, so let's have press W, holding Control, and let's put one window there, Control D, one window there. Let's scroll to the top a little bit, Control D, and as long as you're holding Control when you do this, Control D, and you just maneuver these as you need. And just with these windows, make sure the skirting boards are inside, because remember they are not skirting on the other side. They are not skirting boarded. So Control D. Let's do another one. Control D. Okay. Now we need, I'd say, some plain walls. We've got some windows in our place. So let's create a new empty. Not in there. So if you just drag that, pop it out, and we will call this wall 0, 1 plain walls. Okay, So let's take our plane wall before we do. Let's make sure this is zeroed. So 0, 0, 0, enter. Okay, let's take our plane, stick it in there, and well, what's happened there? Our scale, for some reason, is at 100, 100. So let's delete that and delete that. Let's add a new empty. 0, 0, 0. Right, let's try again. And there we are. Now we're better. The scale of the empty was, instead of being 1, was 100. Now our scale here is 100, which is correct to Unity's settings with Blender. Okay, let's grab our wall plane, move it back, move it across, press Control D. Good thing is you can just hold Control and maneuver these things. So Control D, rotate round, out, there, press E, hold Control, there we go, and just bring it in position, Control D, Control D, and why have we got one? Because that one didn't come across enough. That's why. Okay, so there's only one more piece we need to put in, really, isn't there? Let's change this. We've got wall windows. We need to change this. Walls 0, 1 plane wall. I'll just put plain wall. Okay. So let's put a door one in. So we'll create an empty, and we shall call it wall 0, 1 doors. So let's take our doorway, stick it there. Obviously it's in the wrong position. So how about that? So let's select that, delete it, select our empty, and I keep forgetting to do this, but why Unity just doesn't put it in the centre, I don't know. Stick the doorway in. There we go. Okay, so let's holding Control, drag that door that way, and get across until we get into position. Okay, now we'll just duplicate this with Control D, and let's bring it up, and that should fit nicely. Now let's go inside our room, and let's see how it looks with our camera. Where's our camera? Let's go up here, camera in the room. It is not. It is now. Move it up slightly, rotate it for an interesting angle, and get over like such, rotate it, and we'll get a shot of that, them walls and windows. Okay, so look, so that's our game series at the moment. So our materials, we have our objects that we need shadows on. Cast shadows on, cast shadows on, cast shadows on, cast shadows on. Right, okay, let's delete our light. Let's change our ambient light to 0. Now I'm gonna, as you can see, it has gone quite dark in our scene, so we shall add a new game object, light, a point light, W, and let's start bringing this into area. So if let's respect, so let's do 0, 0, 0, bring it up, and you can see let's change the intensity slightly. Let's put it in that corner, as if we had a lamp over there. There we go. Move it up slightly. Change the colour to a slight yellow. Just give it a little colour. And then let's have a look at how our scene is looking. There we go. So we're going to need more lights than that. So that range is fair big on that as well. Let's turn that range down because it won't shine that far, will it? Excuse my French. Oh, that's alright. Say we had a standing lamp over there, that corner. Okay. So let's Control D to duplicate it, and then just drag it over in the other corner. Get some more light over there. So we've got light behind us now. Control D and bring that into the centre of the room as such. But this one we will turn the intensity down a bit and increase the range to light up the area as need be. Oh well. I do like that, it's spooky, but we'll give it a little bit. Bounce intensity a bit like that, right? There we go. Okay. So let's maximise on play, see how it looks. And there we have our room. Obviously the ceiling's wrong because we've just duplicated that texture. But as you can see, the walls are textured nice. We have our frames, our windows, the door, which will work. Them windows are the wrong way around, that's why you can't see no skirting board there. So actually I think we should have added that. No, because we need the outside doing, so they're going to have to be make sure they're one way round only. So just do that, and then I'll have to rotate them obviously. And as you can see, that wall is one with a double-sided skirting board, so we need one without as well. So if I rotate that 90 degrees or 180 like so, and then just drag it over, select that one, rotate it 180 degrees, and then drag it over. That one should look better. Yeah, there you go. So as you can see, we've finally got our first room into a game engine. So final thing, make sure now we have our textures saved. Save your Blender file. So save as, and we will call it 5 done. I think, even though this will be number 6 in the series, I'm going to call it 5 done, just for being done. Okay, right, thank you for joining me. I hope we all learned something together. I hope you have fun blendering, and I will see you in the next one. Right, thank you, bye bye.